abducted by the Taliban on the night of November 23rd, 2012. I was walking back from a bar on a relaxing and ordinary day in Kabul. Relaxing, like, I think there weren't any bombs or gunfire that day. So, woohoo! I've been arguing with my friend back in the bar. We've been talking about, like, the safest way to get around Kabul, stuff like that. And, okay, in my head, I didn't think being 500 meters away and outside for 5-10 minutes, I didn't think that would be such a risk. Yeah, that was a miscalculation. A white Toyota Corolla stops a few meters under me. 4 men get out, all bearded and wearing traditional Afghan wear. And they head straight towards me. Hey, no, I'm a photographer! Stop! One of them took out a gun and told me to stop resisting. So I did. He made it very clear that any attempt to make a sudden or quick movement would be severely repressed. According to Dr. John Johnson of Psychology Today, there is perhaps no more vital facet of the human spirit than hope. Hope is a potent tool we utilize to not only inspire motivation in times of peace, but also allow us to endure in times of hardship. Such endurance is the case for Pierre Bourgi, an amateur photographer and aid worker in Afghanistan. Through his harrowing true story, Bourgi recounts his 2.5-month imprisonment under the Taliban's rule, with his tale serving as a testament to the virtues of hopefulness. Through him, we discover that even when adversity threatens to overcome and overwhelm, even when failure seems imminent and inevitable, even when everything seems insurmountable and you cannot cry for help, you can always search for hope. How I Gave the Taliban the Slip by Pierre Bourgi. So after a few hours of driving in the middle back seat, I was driven to the first of the 2 holes in the ground that I was to be kept in. They told me that they were Al-Qaeda, they were Taliban, and then they gave me a piece of paper and a pen, and they told me to write that. They told me to write down my information to make sure that I wasn't a part of the special forces, and then they were going to give that back to the authorities as proof that I was alive. I managed to hold on to a piece of paper and a pen, and so I used that to write down, I guess, like a wish list of things I wanted to do when I was freed. Well, actually, list there. See, you could maybe. Yeah, like I don't know. I never had one. I always wanted to learn how to play it. Yeah. So I guess it would have been 10 days I was in there. Then they told me that they were going to drive me back to Kabul and give me my life back. But instead, they were driving me to the second hole in the ground. I was driven to a small hole under a trap door in a barn in the Afghan desert. They had 1 3-liter bucket to use as a toilet, and there was no light, none. The only sense of time passing were occasional noises outside, but the Afghan winter is horribly silent. I was kept there for 3.5 months, and they only took me out 3 or 4 times to shoot ransom videos. But the chains that they used to wrap my hands and my legs, they were loose enough for me to get an arm and a leg free, and the trap door was unlocked, and I spent hours at night exploring the barn. I started to nurture this hope that one day I might escape. But the thing about the Afghan winter is that it's not only cold, it's not only silent, it's very cold. So I knew if I was trying to escape and wearing the summer clothes I had on, I would end up a frozen corpse. So I waited. And I had to do the videos, I had to prove I was alive. The Taliban tell you exactly what they want you to say. They say, tell them you're tired, you're hungry, and you want to go home. I'm tired, I'm hungry. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go home. I want to go home. One day after shooting one of the videos, they told me I was going to be executed. The band's working next. And then they threw me back in the hole. I couldn't afford to wait. No, because I knew at some point some executioner was going to come by and cut away what was becoming an embarrassing loose end for the Taliban. So I grabbed my list, and with the chain still attached to my arms and my legs, I climbed out of the hole, and I went up to a small window inside of the barn. I'm looking outside the window, and I can see lights shimmering on the right-hand side of the road. There was very little street lighting in Afghanistan, so I figured it had to be a military base of some sort. And I'm walking, I'm stumbling through the freshly plowed fields of Afghanistan. And I walked all night, 8, 9, 10 hours. By the early morning, my legs were aching. I was so close to what looked like a large city. I was standing, I see 2 watchtowers and courtyard and a gate, and as I look, I can hear dogs. I can hear dogs. I hear dogs, and then I hear a man yell, "Where are you going?" No. It's so close, it's so no. She's leaving, you gotta be. And he calls his general up. And he calls the interpreters, asks questions. This was a military base for the army, not the Taliban. I was driven back to the medical hospital at a convoy where I was given a new pair of bolt cutters. I took my first shower in 131 days and got to call home. I know. Now I'm finally back in Europe. And I might go back to Afghanistan later, but until then, I'm going to implement this wish list. And I'm going to start with It seems the goodest place is I need to start my new life. My free